Here we are again, back at Tenths, as you can see. Drift week 4, missed number 3. We were filming Hoopty World Championship out in Tucson, Arizona, and could not attend the 3rd one, which sucks because I really wanted to drive all those tracks. That's neither here nor there. And we are back at it and signed up. It's going to be Scottie, Shea, and I piloting this pile. We were going to try to take a VK swapped RX-8 and decided that that was a lot more work and we didn't quite make it as far as we needed to. So we're going to take Old Faithful. But there are a few things, hey bud, there are a few things that we needed to do. One, probably clean up the engine bay because it's filthy. Some basic maintenance, cleaning up the air filter, putting a different angle kit on. We're gonna put the Easy Knuckles kit on. We're just waiting for some of those parts to come through. But the biggest thing and the most gigantic pain in the ass thing from all of Drift Week 2 was the way that we set up our fuel system. So I had hoped that this radium cell would fit in this hole here, and unfortunately it did not. So we had to mount it up here, which made the fill hose not very much of an angle to actually fill, and this thing would fill up and squirt out all over the place, and it made every fill up that we did like 45 minutes. So we are going to cut some holes in this thing and mount another filling hole right there going through downhill into the tank, which will hopefully alleviate a lot of those issues that we were having. Post Corvette hit, I now have these push button locks to keep the body panels on. So that's one other thing that changed. But otherwise, this thing has gone through a gigantic season. I think we did all of Drift Week plus all of my local events, which was like 6, and then 3 days of driving at no coast. So yeah, fluid changes, and then we're off for Drift Week number 4. Sick. So since we're waiting on parts for the angle kit, it's time to go on fixing fueling situation because it sucks. So moving this, basically flipping it around, and where that Sharpie up there, and then that is gonna pop out in that area somehow. Thanks, Derek, for the finger pointing. But yeah, that's gonna come out yonder, and hopefully will alleviate a lot of our issues. And we're through.
Oh, that's a little bit more off one direction than I expected.
Yeah, she's down a little. You're below it.
Fuck, okay, well, we're getting closer.
We've got the temporary pilot holes here.
Ready?
Yeah,
Come on.
let's go for pilot hole number 3. Hoping for somewhere in this general area.
Come on.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
mucho
That's a
better.
little better.
That,
Oh, yeah.
that'll work.
Yeah.
All right, Shay's getting antsy. Did your battery die?
This is fucking Milwaukee, man. I don't know what to tell you here.
You need to borrow my Harbor Freight one?
Yeah, that would be a dead battery.
I don't know how to use Milwaukee stuff.
We're gonna come back after these messages.
You got sparks, dude.
Hole number 4, going in. Sorry, GKTech. Purveyor of fine lug nuts.
Oh, god damn it. God damn it.
You done did it now, boy. You don't need that. So we went from our initial 3 pilot holes to having 500 pilot holes because our noisy cricket sucks. Hashtag Harbor Freight. Some stuff's good, other stuff not so much. So this is how we're doing it. And one maximum effort later, you're left with the most jagged cookie you've ever seen. That's not looking too good either. Oof. Ah, just one more to go.
Can't say I'm surprised.
That's a sick shot too of the smoke slowly coming out of the thing. Just need to give this some spritzing with some. Oh, this thing's never been cleaned. And it was very, very obvious.
Harbor Freight shit can't even cut this.
I know.
That looks legit. Sure. What wrench do we need?
Take the hose and rotate it.
It's actually the fucking right size.
What is?
It's the right size.
What's the right size?
It's the right fucking length.
Oh, no way.
Swear to God.
Nuh-uh, we planned it.
It does now. No, bro, she's connecto.
Well, fucking A, Cotton.
You want to try pumping her, or what do you want to do?
We can go to the gas station and give it the old college try. That was way less painful than one could have imagined. I'm super glad I didn't have to buy another $100 in hose. That hose fit perfectly to where we put that. Had it been further this way, it wouldn't work. So,
Is this E85 or gas?
gas.
Because I got gas in that thing right there. I don't know if you want to try it.
I mean, we could try it.
If you think it would mimic a normal nozzle.
Sure.
Whoa. Here we go, boys.
So far, so good. This is my super convenient gas gauge, so you know at a quick glance by opening the trunk how much gas you actually have.
How big is this cell? 10 gallons?
15.
Okay.
But it takes about 13 because it has the FST in it.
Okay.
So we are going.
I think that worked, dude.
Every gas station, I would grab all the paper towels out of the thing and I would put it right here on the battery because that's where the fill-up was. And then I would just take the gasoline-soaked paper towels and throw them in the trash can because reasons. But then I would just leave the ones that I didn't use in here if it didn't spill any, which was never.
I
So
think this is pretty cool.
I do too. That's way better. So that's day 0.5 of Drift Week 4. This is way better than the first time we did this. God. Oh God.
This may just be fun.
Yeah. We'll see. So since we finished the fuel stuff yesterday, it was very uneventful and quick. Of course, today is going to bite us in the behind. We are changing out my angle kit for an easy knuckles kit. So longer control arm, different style knuckle. You can see that one's kind of installed there. Nice sway bar end links. But my knuckle was fucked on the way out. The threads were all foobarred. Can't even see in there, but they won't go in. So it's looking like I need another knuckle. So that's what we're dealing with while installing said angle kits. Drift Week 4 prep over here at Tenths Motorsports. We've got this list that we're trying to knock out. We did install a new angle kit from Easy Knuckles, and we've had to make some pretty extensive modifications to stuff. Had to buy some Figs Engineering lower LCA spherical Heims. Press those in because we were having problems getting enough caster to center the wheel and the wheel well, and etc., etc. So that fixed that. Then the brake line at full tilt boogie was getting stretched, so all we did was take that out and rotate it at 90 degrees. Now no longer a problem, so solving solutions there. Otherwise, I think we got everything dialed in. We just did the alignment on it and everything lined pretty well. We have a little bit more caster on this side than we do on the other side, so hopefully we get to test and see how it is. We just pulled the ever-living crap out of my fenders with the old Fender Roller 9000. So hopefully we can actually clear all the extra length we got from the lower control arm being longer. What else? We need to install my super dope Fortune coilovers, which we just got from Nick. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Fortune. I really love all the t-shirts and stickers and the sweatshirt. But we are going up in spring rate, so we have the choice to use 20K springs in the front, and we have 10K springs in the rear, and I think he sent an extra set of 12K springs for the rear. So we're gonna play around and see what works the best. But we are gonna put the 24K springs on first before we put it on, because I don't think we're gonna be able to fit the front sway bar, which is a whole different issue altogether. So we got some things on our list to do. Again, super stoked to be working with Fortune. Last time I worked with them was back in 2012-ish, right before we filmed Motorcycle vs. Car Drift Battle 3. And so those were on my Pro-Am car that we used for that. So those are going to be replacing whatever the hell's on there, and we're going to have a good time. Okay. They come with 10K springs, and we have 12K springs installed, so we're going to try to up that a little bit because this thing was still a floppy monster. So we're going to try to wrangle some of that in and make this thing a better handling vehicle. So it's real lazy during transitions, and we're trying to solve that. So yeah, 12Ks are in, 10Ks are out, but thanks Fortune for sending us options. We got the Swift springs up front. Those are currently 20s, which is what we have on there now. We got some Swift 24Ks that we're gonna give a try and bring all those with us in case we hate it. So there's that. So we just dumped about 13.5 gallons of brake clean in here because we had a slight oil leak that had caked the entire bottom of the car with oil and or dirt. But now we're trying to find the source of the leak, and my oil cooler sandwich plate adapter just loose, you know, as it should be.
Super accessible.
Yeah, and it's real easy to get to. So we are gonna give that a tighteroo and be right as rain. Cleaned about 37 pounds off the bottom of this. It's still pretty gross, but it's way less gross than it was. So those are the O-rings out of the G Plus kit with less than 10,000 miles on it. All right. Yeah. And seals sticking out. Yeah, buddy. So that's gonna go back in. Shout out to John Yim for the Sick Bucky shirt. He always brings me a little prize pack during No Coast festivities. So this one's sick. Long sleeve. Styling. Thanks, John. So our list has grown a little bit, but we are knocking stuff off the list as fast as we were adding it to the list. We're just waiting for the 24K springs to come in the mail. I ordered some 60.1 to 70.1 hub-centric rings. That we haven't done yet. Fix the oil leak. We gotta do some intercooler pipe tube stuff, sway bar stuff, and the coilovers in. I think we're gonna be sitting pretty. Oil change completed and not leaking half of it out immediately is it's a good feeling. And look how clean that looks. Let me let's zoom in on that. Oh my God. Fresh new day. Back over at Tenths, copping some V8 because it's the only time I ever eat vegetables. We are making some quality of life upgrades to this thing. Got to drive it around a little bit more and see if the springs settle. We need to change out for the Swift springs. These are 24Ks that they just sent out for us. We got some hub-centric rings so that the Kansei's will fit a little bit better without having to worry. I got some neon vacuum line because my vacuum line is fuel line and that's not optimal. And then we got some kickers to replace the blown out speakers in the back. Plus, much to Scott from Grip Royal's pleasure, I'm going to be changing out Old Faithful, which is the wheel that I've had for many moons, over a decade, and changing it out for this hot new unit from Grip Royal. So yeah, sick. This is the one we took on the Hoopty World Championship, so we're just gonna swap those things out and let it eat. So Scotty tested the fuel system, which actually fills up now without spraying all over us. And we have an actual calibration for the fuel gauge. So that's when we know we have 13 gallons. And this thing holds about 14, so that's where we want to be. And we know this is gonna be 5 gallons. So we still have a little bit of room to go if we're near E. Just so we know, so we can get a little bit more range without having to stop as often. So super pumped on that. The Radium stuff is still kicking ass. And yeah, quality of life improvements. Update. Got both of the speakers in. Went with some kickers off Amazon. That one's already done. The sound system sounds mucho better. Just gotta get that on there and there you go. Clean as a whistle. Whilst I was in there dicking around, Shea got them fortunes on there, boy, I tell you what. Damn, they look good. They smell good. Got them new 24K Swifts on there. Loving it. This is why I changed the speakers out. That's not doing much. And this one's well on its way to not doing much. Yo dog, I heard you like speakers, so we put a speaker on your speaker. 1 set of wires, 2 set of wires. Oh, Lexus. So we got some hub-centric rings to alleviate said issue. I believe it goes that way.
Yep.
Just like that. And you put that thing on, and it should center it right up. Now we don't have to center it with the lug nuts. Look at that there.
Beautiful.
So got some of my Hot Boy rice lines in. Stoked. Got some left over too for something later. Hanging out, Scotty don't. And yeah, just listening to diesels just whistling on by. We're trying to Mount my sway bar, but it's being a complete DH. That's dickhead in Australian. Mostly because we relocated my alternator down here, so it's kind of self-induced DH.
Yeah, I need the alternator special.
No. And because we're running so much more caster, these have to pick up on the back side instead of on the front side where they normally were. So we're trying to work around those facts. All right, fast forward into the almost evening time, and Scotty has machined up some cheese blocks.
Machined up.
I'm saying, look at those. Those are machined beauties. These are hand machined. Little spacers to keep it off El Alternado. And yeah, we'll hopefully give her a test drive tomorrow. Guess we'll see. Scotty's throwing an alignment on the old whip. It was
The what?
the whip. Got the Fortunato stickers on, got one on the hood. I still got to put them up there, but it's real high and I can't reach it. Can you see? Yeah, you can see it a little bit, but reduced some of the caster we had, and now Scotty's messing with the camber to see what we can actually get out of the eccentric bolts so we can raise and lower it at the track if need be. Seems to have aligned out. We now have an alignment setting for 1/8 inch toe out, and then we have an alignment setting for 0 while we're driving. So we'll see how that works. We'll see if this is enough. Haven't driven this car on a sway bar. It's on new coilovers and a new angle kit. So who knows if I can even drift it? I have no idea. So gonna try to head out to the track and squeeze in a couple of laps because I only have one set of tires that I have to drive back on, and then pick Zach up from the airport from GKTech. So yeah. Thanks, Scotty. As you can see, I got the flashers on for no reason whatsoever. So we went to go testing. The car was fantastic, I might add. We did the new Fortune coilovers. We did the Easy Knuckles angle kit. Scotty made some quality of life fixes with being able to fill the car up without having to pop the trunk. Fixed cooling system stuff. We went and tested and everything felt fan-freaking-tastic. And then we had to go pick up Zach. He came all the way from down under, and I treated him to the Officer Dan special immediately by getting a flat tire a mile from the airport. And now we're stuck and we can't go anywhere. So half the tire is missing. Now, to be fair, Hurt did give me these tires as half burns already on Drift Week 2. So not only did he use them mostly all of Drift Week, but then I used them the rest of Drift Week and my entire season in New Mexico and No Coast. And now it finally destroyed itself. So, rip. Now I have to make my poor pregnant wife come out here and rescue us. You know, just normal things. Oh, also America. Just getting some video. It's a good pose though. Day before we're supposed to leave for Drift Week 4. We had some parts come in the mail because we had a small oil leak from my oil cooler fittings. They blew out the O-rings at the track last night, and now we have to replace those. Plus, we think that the tire got stabbed by something on the chassis, so we're gonna have to look at that, give it a little bit of an alignment, mount all these tires and wheels, maybe balance a couple of sets of them, and Bob's your uncle. Look at them Kansais. These are the very last Cosmo Mucho Machos. Unfortunately, due to supply problems, they did not have any to float me for this drift week, so we're gonna finish off what I got. We got one more that Shea's mounting and a set of fronts, but that's all she wrote. Wish I could have more, because I love driving on these things. Repeating record. We got this rack that I'm probably just gonna throw away. Yeah, recycle. We ended up cutting the traction rods and moving the whole wheel forward on this less into the camber. And that's the only way we could do it because it don't have adjustable lower control arms or upper control arms. So, shortening that lost us some camber, and we had a big problem. I only did 3 laps at Sandia and that happened, which is not characteristic, but that should have alleviated that issue. So that's pretty fantastic. We now are kind of figuring out why this front tire popped. It could have been because it was just really bald. It could have gotten stabbed on something. Scotty just cut this little dude off. There's them fortunes looking smexy. We don't know what it hit. So we gotta put the other wheels and tires back on to see if everything will actually clear, because we haven't tested it without bald tires. So we'll give that a try. Packed up, got the Kanseis and the Cosmos, well, as many as I can have, which is about 10. And some spare parts. The only spare parts I have are the old angle kit, the old coilovers, some oil. That's it. That's all we got. We get that one bin for all of our spares and tools, which I'm gonna cheat and bring my extra little bag of power tools. Got my spare spec, looking smexy, spexy. Helmet check. Bike will be in the trailer. We can't really bring that with us everywhere. Maybe I'll put it in Trenton's trailer. Got my electrical box, GoPro stuff. I think we're getting pretty close. We had to go run down to the local hot rod shop and get some AN fittings for the oil cooler, because the ones that came in were completely wrong and didn't work. Sick run. So, we were gonna try to get on the road today, but that's not gonna happen. So we're gonna leave at the ass crack of dawn tomorrow morning and head out to Willow Springs to meet everybody for the meet and greet, because that's what you do. These fittings are the ones that came with the oil cooler. As you can see, it's supposed to have an O-ring in there. And the O-rings keep blowing out, and then the oil cooler keeps leaking oil. So we tried to get different fittings. We ordered some online. They didn't have any, or they sent us the wrong ones. So then we went over to our local performance shop, Yearwood, and they hooked us up with some other ones that fit. But Scotty had to modify them like crazy to get them to work. Like, had to cut half of the threads off. But now we're using crush washers and flap fittings, and hopefully it won't leak. Also had to drill them out, because why wouldn't you have to do that?
It's all bad.
It's so bad. Plan is to leave at like 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. That'll hopefully put us into Willow Springs around 4:30 to 5-ish. And then we have the meet and greet, like I said, at around 6:30, something like that. And then we drive Friday, Saturday, and then we have an off day to travel. And then we go to Tucson. So that's gonna be the schedule for this pile of love. And that being said, I'm going to close this video out, and this is going to be episode numero uno. So we will catch you on the road to Willow for episode 2. Gigantic thanks to Tenths again for allowing me to do this. If it were not for Scottie and Shea and Wade and all the whole team here at Tenths, I would not be able to do this cool stuff. Yes, I could get the invites to do the cool stuff, but my lack of skill and mechanic ability would stop me from doing that. So, thank God for Tenths.